Hello everybody, Scarlet Raven here, and today we are going to be playing some chess, and I'm going to be explaining my moves. I live streamed some games earlier, but the video was all like choppy and frozen. It was not good, so I'm just gonna play some games now and upload this video. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the King's Indian. What am I saying? I'm starting off with the English opening. Develop the knight. And now I'm going to fianchetto my bishop here. Okay. I do not see this variation very often, but I usually just take back. Okay, just going to go here. Okay, take back. I'm fine with the double C pawns. Gonna just develop my knight and castle. Okay. So he pushes there. Now I'm actually gonna push here and undouble my pawns if he takes. If he pushes. Okay, he did not push or take. I think he's trying to get the knight over to... Okay, this is gonna be... I think he's trying to get the knight over here to help with this. So I think I'll just take and trade queens. Okay, now I'm gonna fianchetto this bishop. Alright, so I did a better job of explaining this stuff in the live stream. Okay, so he pushed that pawn. That doesn't do much. Now I'm just gonna bring this rook to the D file and offer a trade of rooks so that I have my rook on the open file instead. Okay, he attacks the knight, so I'm gonna bring the rook over to defend it. Okay, he trades them off, and I just hung my rook. Okay, so that was a bad first game. I'm just gonna play another game, and this time I'm gonna take more time just going through stuff. Alright, so we get to play black, and they play a weird move. I have not seen this opening before, so I'm just gonna play my normal Pierce defense setup, which consists of developing this knight over here after pushing d6. Okay, so they check. So I'm just gonna bring the knight over to defend, or to block it. Okay, now I'm gonna fianchetto my bishop, get it on a good diagonal. Now it defends the knight. Okay, it does not take. I'm gonna castle, getting my king to safety out of the center of the board. Okay. He develops his knight. It looks like he's getting ready to castle queenside, so I'm going to push this pawn just to prepare for queenside attack. Okay, he did not castle yet. It looks like he's trying to get an attack on the king side. I'm just going to go here, attack the queen, and start my queenside attack. Okay, now I feel like pushing the a pawn, but I don't know if I should push it to a5 or a6. Either way, it's defended by the rook, but I may want to bring my queen somewhere over here eventually. I might actually just defend this pawn with my bishop by fianchettoing it. It also gets it on this long diagonal, which could be good for later. Okay, they move their rook out the way of the bishop. They also are now... Actually, I think that weakens their attack. I don't think their attack is as good now since they moved the rook. So I'm just going to continue with my attack and push a5. He also can't castle kingside now, so he has to castle queenside if he decides to castle. I am going to actually move my rook to the e file, the same file as the king, just because it's a good place to put it if he doesn't castle. So his pawn structure is very weird here. He has no center control. Okay, he drops the bishop back. That looks like a better diagonal for the bishop. Should I bring the knight out? I feel like the knight will be helpful in the attack on the queen side if I can get it in somewhere. So I am... I'm actually just gonna take the center with this move. E5. You know, just taking the center. Okay. Now he attacks my knight. I can bring it to a couple of places. This square doesn't look as good as this square. Yes, this square brings it to the side of the board, which is not good for knights, and may eventually be bad for it, but it looks like my best option as of right now, so I'm just gonna move the knight. Okay, he moves his knight. It looks like he is trying to set something up or even rerouting to this square. I could bring my knight here to an outpost, but that would just end up doubling up my pawns, as he would probably take with the bishop. That would open up my rook to his king a little more, though. But I don't see any purpose in doing it as of right now, so I think all I want to do is probably get rid of this pawn, the one that attacked my knight. Also, now if he takes, I can actually just bring the knight back to where it was, which is a safe square for it. And probably actually a better square than going here. So I'm just gonna take back if he takes. He does not. He attacks the pawn, which also defends his pawn. I think I'm actually gonna just take, though. Because if he takes back, I can just move my knight back here. I hung that pawn, so I did not see that pawn was hanging. Now he's attacking my rook and my bishop. I don't see a way to save both of them, but an exchange is better than just losing a piece, so defending the bishop is the better move. Let's see. Yeah, I think I just have to defend the bishop. So I'll trade my rook off for the knight. Okay. And now... Now what should I do? I feel like moving the knight back, and he would probably trade the bishop for the knight, and then I would just take back with the bishop. I wouldn't take back with the knight because this knight is going to be helping me with the queenside attack if he does ever castle. So I'm actually just going to move the knight back now. And take if he takes. Okay, he does not take. He attacks my knight again, but I have 2 defenders, so I don't really care about that. I can actually push this pawn and take with my knight if he takes. Okay, he finally castles queenside. So now I'm actually going to bring the knight over here, helping with the queenside. Now he does have push, and then I take, which weakens my pawns for my attack. But he does not do that. Instead, he pushes that pawn. Now, I believe I can push and take back with the knight. Yeah. This looks good, attacking the queen and this pawn. It would also weaken this pawn. Okay, so he strengthens the pawn for if anything happens there. I'm going to... I feel like taking and trying to get my queen on like this diagonal. Because then if he takes back with the pawn, then I can get the queen over here. Which looks pretty good. But I don't see any real purpose of it. Can also kind of get my knight in here and probably here or here. Yeah, let's just take. Let's see what happens. I can now get my queen here too, actually. Actually, let's move the knight over here and try to get it to like this square, because this square will stop his pawn and help me a little bit with some activity on the queen side. Okay. But as you can see, he's doing a lot of stuff on the queen side now to try to stop my attack. So his attack over here on the king side is not really doing anything, which is good for me because, you know, my king isn't the safest as of right now, but it is safe. There's nothing he can really do. Yeah, I like the idea of probably getting the pawn over here somehow. Actually, wait a second. Yeah, I can push since it's defended by the knight. And then I can push again to get it over here. And then I can bring the knight here to defend it and also attack this square, which also cuts off this square for the king. So he is pushing on the king side. I'll push on the queen side. Okay, he does not let me get the pawn there. That was really what I was hoping to do. But I can now get my queen here attacking the pawn. He can't move the queen here because then this would be pretty bad for him. Oh wait, I just realized the bishop. the bishop is on this diagonal, so I can't really get the knight here. That stops my plan. Except he did just hang this pawn with a fork. So I'm going to move my king out the way so my knight's not pinned. And then I can fork the queen and rook. Okay. Pretty good stuff so far. My attack is going decently well. I wouldn't say it's much of an attack yet. I feel like I'm just setting up for an attack, but still, this idea is very good. Alright. He's probably thinking of how to attack on my king side still. Okay, he moves the bishop, which does not stop the fork. So I'm just going to fork him. And now he either loses the rook or the queen. He attacks my rook, which hung this check. And now, don't I have another? I do have this check, which defends the knight and forces his king over to this square. And then I have checkmate. Oh yeah, so this is just mate in two. Yeah, okay, he got, okay. Yeah, mate. Good game. So, that was a good game. I did lose a rook, or lose an exchange early on. And, but my queenside attack there was successful because he tried some idea of taking my rook, which completely took away the defender of everything on here. Because he was scared of the fork, so he went to counterattack, but that let me just completely destroy him on this queen side with the queen and knight. So that was a good game, very instructive game, and I feel like this is a good place to stop. So as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Raven out. Peace.